Tony! Cesare, what happened? Hey, what's the matter?
It's all right, kid. Let me get in my wind. Hello, Lou.
Boy, you bushed. What were you running from? The cops?
Hey, Cesare, what did you do?
Don't be scared, little brother. I give him the old crisscross.
Anybody see you? Maybe we ought to arrange for an alibi.
Look at that, Lou, huh? Not even to college yet, and already you took like a lawyer. Hey, Tony. Look.
Wow. How much you got?
$200. Here, Tony. Go down and give it to Mama. Now, Papa don't have to have no beggar's funeral and get buried in a sack. And Tony, tell Mama to get him a nicer coffin with the silver handles. Here. Take it.
Think you want to buy Papa a coffin with money you robbed?
How else are we gonna do it, huh? Tony, don't worry. I got it off a drunk. It was easy. He hardly put up a fight at all.
Cesare, you think Papa cared about a coffin? Only every one of us was supposed to be decent, to have something to eat. Hey, he wanted me to be a doctor, huh? He wanted me to help people. Not to rob them. You think he cared about a coffin with silver handles?
Well, I care. Me, Cesare Romano. I care how my old man is buried. I don't want the neighbors to laugh, and we couldn't even give the old man a decent funeral. Capiche? We needed the money, so I got it. It don't matter how.
No, it matters. It matters to Papa. Hey, how many times he tell us, huh? He say a man who lives by violence, he dies the same way.
Yeah. Papa, he was full of those wise sayings. You know what I think? I think Papa was a jerk.
Oh, Cesare.
Yeah. Tony. Stunard. Huh? A two-bit jerk. What did Papa ever get out of life, huh? He's lying down there dead with a busted gut, 42 years old. For what? From a hole in a cold in the winter and a nice enough suburb of 6 flights of stairs. For what? 4 cents, huh? 4 cents a trip? Great, huh, Tony? Huh? But our Papa, he was full of those wise sayings. He who lives by a violence gotta die by a violence. Well, I got a wiser saying, too. He who takes, gets. And it don't matter how. Just as so he's smart, right, Lou? You just take, and it don't matter how. Because one day you end up a Mr. Big. And the people don't care how you got your money. And that's gonna be me. Cesare Romano. Mr. Big.
3 boys from the slum. One wanted to be a doctor, one wanted to be a lawyer, and the third, he just wanted to be Mr. Big. All 3 achieved their ambitions with surprising results. As sure as my name is Boris Karloff, they are the guilty men. And that's the name of our story. Our principal players are Mr. Everett Sloan, Mr. J.C. Flippen, and Mr. Frank Silvera. That sound you hear is a heartbeat that held together a fantastically powerful organization dedicated to big business, the big business of crime. Let me assure you, my friends, this is a thriller. (1923). Cesare Romano gets suspended sentence and protection racket slugging. 1928. Witnesses disappear. Cesare Romano, alias Charlie Roman, released on hijacking charge. 1931. Roman denies control. Fed stymied in liquor rackets. 1940. Ex-bootleggers organize, gambling, procuring dope on nationwide scale. 1960. Industrialist Charles Roman subpoenaed. Testifies shipping, hotel, oil interests of syndicate, strictly legit.
Wait! Show me one combine, not only in this country, anywhere in the world that's had a better year. So what? What's $500,000 to us? So long as it's gonna prevent one kid from becoming a delinquent.
It's $500,000, that's what it is. We're not in business to raise money for charity. You seem to be missing that little point, Charlie.
I don't miss nothing, Harry. Not to one thing. I make it my business. Ask Lou. Ask Lou. Eh? Go ahead.
I don't want to ask Lou. He'll say what you told him to say.
Look, Harry, don't make me mad, eh? I got a bad tick. I'm not supposed to get mad.
What do you want from me, Charlie? You want me to listen to the mouthpiece?
I hardly think that was necessary, Gans, referring to me as a mouthpiece.
All right. Let's hear what the Philadelphia lawyer has to say.
Well, there's very little to say. You've all heard what Charlie wants, and I think we should go along with him.
Well, I don't. I don't.
Look, Harry, don't push me, eh? Don't push me. I don't care what the doctors say. Don't push me.
Well, how is he?
Is he all right, Tony?
All right, this time.
You're not going. Tony, he's your brother. Talk to him. Well, why did you come if you're not going to talk to him? What kind of a brother are you? What kind of a doctor are you?
I'm a good doctor. When you called me, I came. I've done all I can for him as a doctor. The rest is up to him.
No, it's up to you, too. In the old country, a brother is a brother. In the old country, a brother will kill for his brother if he has to. Where are you going?
I'm going to the hospital. People are waiting for me there. Poor people.
What do you want from me, Tony, eh? What am I gonna do? Today I nearly killed myself fighting to get money, to do good, to help people. And all the time I knew it wasn't enough for you.
No, it isn't. No matter what you do, you're scum, Charlie, and you know it. What about all those young boys who come to my office every day? What about all those narcotics cases? Sure, you don't sell them the stuff, but it comes in on your ships. It's unloaded on your docks. What good is tearing down the slums if you keep bringing in narcotics? What does it prove?
Leave me alone.
You're my brother. And I know a lot of things have changed, but it's not enough if the worst remains. Don't you see that?
I'm sorry I hit you, Tony.
Sorry I said what I did. Well, I guess I better be going. Goodbye, Cesare. Anna. Remember, rest. No more meetings. Next time you might not be so lucky.
All right, go ahead. What are you thinking? Go ahead. Say it. Say it.
I'm thinking that I'm your wife and that I love you.
You think Tony's right, eh? What am I gonna do? You think maybe if I do something about the narcotics, he's gonna love me again?
You think Tony's right, Lou?
Well, you know that I'm always with you, Charles. But there is no denying that Tony's got a point. I mean, if we're going into something like donating playgrounds, we ought to go the whole way. I suggest that we drop the narcotics operation.
Hey, what do you think? The other fellas are gonna stand for that?
Well, they might if it were put to them properly. If it were made clear to them that this is the only remaining thing that they can get us on, that the rest of the operation is clean. I suppose we'd have some trouble with Gans, but I think we should try it, Charles. We can explain to them why we want to do it and put it to a vote at the meeting tomorrow.
Don't let him go to any more meetings. You heard what Tony said.
All right, Anna. She's right, Charles. You shouldn't take the chance. I'll handle it.
Even Harry Gans?
Yes.
You know, I don't know what I'd do without you, Lou. If it wasn't for you, I'd think maybe I have Harry Gans killed a long time ago. You know, out the side of my wife, you're the only friend I got. And I appreciate, Lou. I appreciate you always behind me.
I know you do. Oh, you don't have to show me out, Anna. And don't worry. I'll see there are no more upsets like this.
Thank you, Lou. I know you love my Cesare. Thank you very, very much.
Philadelphia, Mr. Adams?
Yes, get me home as fast as you can.
Yes, sir.
Right, partner.
Hello, Louis.
Oh, hello, dear. You needn't have waited up.
I wanted to. How was your meeting?
Oh, you know how these board of directors meetings are. They're always pretty tiring.
You have a visitor, a Mr. Gans,
What? Where is he?
in the living room.
Would you excuse me, dear? I'll try and make it short.
Of course, dear.
I'll be up as soon as I can.
Quite a fancy joint you got here, Mouthpiece.
What are you doing here, Gans?
I came to see you. What kept you?
It's a long way to Philadelphia.
You're right. It's a long way.
I can do without your innuendos, Gans. My guests usually come by invitation. I don't recall inviting you. What are you doing here?
I came to find out about poor old Charlie. How's he feeling?
Now, I know you didn't come all the way out here to Philadelphia with just Charles's health on your mind.
Oh, that's where you're wrong. I've been doing a lot of thinking about poor old Charlie lately. I think somebody else ought to head up the organization and old Charlie be put out to pasture.
Out to pasture. Or in cement in a marsh in Jersey.
Oh, no, I didn't say Charlie had to get hit, did I? You know we don't do that anymore. It don't pay. I just think he should step down or be forced down before he breaks us all.
The money for that playground is chicken feed. That's not what's disturbing you. Why don't you come right out with it? Why don't you come out and say that you want to be Mr. Big?
All right. I want it. And I'm going to get it. Are you going to get in my way?
I will if you try to break up this organization with a lot of internecine warfare.
I don't understand them big words, mouthpiece. Save them for the Supreme Court. And don't walk away from me. I don't like it.
That's too bad.
Now, look, Lou, you watch your step. There's more lawyers in this town than you can count, and don't you forget that.
Look, don't play it tough with me. You know as well as I do that whether you or Charles runs this organization, it can't survive without me.
So you keep telling us. And maybe you're right. But it works the other way around, too, lawyer boy. I don't think you could be the big bull on the stock market or the big spender at the racetracks and what you make as a public defender. So let you let up on the tough talk, too, huh?
Or what?
Or I might just bring out a few items I've got in my safe deposit box. Just one of them would stink you up so bad they couldn't stand the smell of you even in Philadelphia. Just because you're Mr. Lewis Adams with a social register wife, don't think I couldn't stink you up good. All the way down the main line.
So that's what you have in mind, hmm?
That's what I've got in mind. And remember that the next time is a show of hands, like at tomorrow's meeting.
I'll think about it.
Don't think about it. Make up your mind you're going to do it. At tomorrow's meeting, Charlie won't be there. You're going to vote with me. And Charlie's going to be out. Because if you don't...
I said I'd think about it. Good night.
Good night, mouthpiece.
Hello?
Hello, Anna. This is Lou. May I speak to Charles, please?
No, Lou. No more tonight. You heard Tony say he must rest.
Yes, I know, but this is important.
So is his life. Please.
It's all right.
Hey, Lou. How are you?
Oh, well, the important thing, Charles, is how are you?
I'm fine. What's up?
I was just thinking about what we talked about before, you know, about the meeting tomorrow, and,
What's the matter? Something happened. I can tell from your voice.
No, nothing's happened. It's just that I had some second thoughts on the matter, and would you mind coming to the meeting tomorrow?
No, I don't mind, but we promised Anna, and you know what Tony said. Thought you could handle this alone.
Oh, I will. I just thought we could swing it easier if you were there.
All right, Lou. All right, I'll be there.
No, Cesare.
Thanks, Charles, very much. I'll see you there.
Okay, Lou. Goodbye. Okay, Lou, how does it figure?
Well, it's 8-4 in favor of the playground. I guess that does it, Gans. The playground is in.
That's fine, fellas. Thanks. Thanks, fellas. Yeah, I got something else on my mind I'd like to talk to you about. At least I want you to think about it for next month's meeting. It's about the dock traffic, the stuff. I've been thinking how maybe we ought to drop that business.
Drop it? It's worth millions a year. It's a big proposition getting bigger. Have you gone off your nut?
Let me finish, Harry. You might let me finish.
If we listen to you, we'll all be finished. For 2 years, we've been masterminding the dock walkouts so we can control all the stuff coming in. We've got it so nicely and neatly wrapped up the narcotic boys can't even nibble around the edges. And he wants us to drop it. I just don't follow you, Charlie. I just don't follow you.
You mean you don't want to?
I can't.
If you let me finish, maybe you could.
Oh, I've heard enough.
You walking out?
What's it look like? Wait a minute, Harry. I said I'm going, and I mean it. I'll be in my office 5 minutes. If anybody wants to come with me, they can.
Charles, we've got to get him back.
Now let him go. If he thinks he can get along without the rest of the organization, let him try. Jaime, Johnny, Momo, you voted with him. You want to walk out too?
May I interrupt for just a moment, please?
Sure. Go ahead, Lou.
Charles, I know what's on your mind, even if the other boys don't. And, well, I'm perfectly willing to go along with you, but there's no sense in breaking up the entire organization just because a couple of tempers have flared. No, I think we've just got to try and be reasonable about this.
What do you want me to do? You want me to go down on my knees to Harry Gans?
No, I don't think you'll have to do that. He knows what's at stake. I suggest that we go in and talk to him.
You go in and talk to him. If he wants it to come back, all right. But don't expect me to go in there.
Look, Charles, we'll get nowhere this way, and you know it. You two have got to get together. Now, the best way to accomplish that, as far as I can see, is for the boys to get out of here so that you and I can talk to him alone.
All right.
All right, boys?
Okay, Lou.
All right. Good. Johnny.
Hello?
You go in and get Gans.
Don't you think he'll come back in?
Yes, I think he will, if you tell him that Charles and I are here alone.
Sure, Lou.
All right, I'm here. Now what?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for coming back, Gans.
I hope you know what you're doing, mouthpiece. What's on your mind?
Well, I'll tell the both of you if you listen. Now, you know as well as I do that this syndicate can't survive if this break takes place.
The way he's going, it won't last anyhow.
You never listened to my reasons.
I told you before, I've heard enough.
Now, look, Harry, at least let's be fair. I mean, you ought to hear Charles out. I think we all should before any decision is made.
Lou's right, Harry.
All right. Start talking.
Go ahead, Charles.
Just like that, huh? It's not so easy, just like that. Tell you the truth, I don't understand. How it got started, even. You remember, Lou, all the fights we used to have when you first started talking about the legitimate. I thought you had holes in your head. Then I began to see the handwriting on the wall. Just like you said it was going to be. When bootlegging went out and the feds started to cracking down. And I went along, yeah? I took a trip to the old country, remember? Mm-hmm. All right, I didn't like it there. I like it here. I like being a big businessman. And all the time I talk to my wife, Anna, how nice it would be we had some children like you got, Johnny. But I don't got no children. I only got my wife, Anna, and my kid brother, Tony. You know what Tony thinks of me? You know what he said to me last night? He said Charlie Roman is scum. Scum. My kid brother doesn't love me. You understand? Since 29, he hates me. Because of those little kids that was killed accidental the day we had to hit Sox Malone. Maybe you don't have a kid brother hates you. But Tony, and those little kids, they get under my skin more and more every day. Why do you think this means so much to me? It's because of those little kids. The district is also lousy with the pushers that are pushing the stuff we bring over in the boats. What's it doing down there? It's going to the kids, Harry. The stuff is going to the kids. It's lousing them up worse than ever before. Look, we're making enough money, legit. Let's drop the stuff.
And let somebody else move in?
Nobody's gonna move in.
Who is there to come in?
Somebody will. Some of those little Brooklyn punks will come in. And the first thing you know, they'll be bucking the organization. And they'll have the money to do it, and we'll be dead.
No, they won't, Harry.
You bet they won't. But you can't stop them because you're getting soft, Charlie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You're getting out now because I'm moving in. Ain't no Brooklyn punk gonna take over that drug action. And now you want to cut off the whole supply and walk around like a saint. Well, not me. I'm stepping in.
Oh, no, you won't, Gans. You're doing nothing of the kind.
Who's gonna stop me? You gonna stop me?
No, I'm gonna stop you. Charlie Roman, that's who.
Charlie Roman. There's no such character around anymore. Charlie Roman was a tough baby in his day. But now all we got is poor old sick Papa Romano, stewing in his beer about a bunch of no-good apple-stealing delinquents on the east side. Get out of my way.
Where are you?
Get your hands off me.
You
Get
big
your hands
fool.
off me. Harry, don't you ever lift your hands on me. No, you don't, mouthpiece. Cut it out, Gans.
Let me go.
Move. Stay right here.
Let me go. Let me go.
Let him sit.
Come on, Gans.
Let me go.
Big Gans. Daddy.
Cut it out, Gans.
Daddy. Daddy. Daddy.
Put it down. I gotta help him, Harry. I said put that down. I can't stand here and watch him die, Harry. You told me you hated his guts. You said you wanted him dead.
Lou?
You told me he always treated you like a poor relation. Well, he won't anymore.
Daddy. Daddy.
And if it bothers you too much, don't look.
Big Daddy. Daddy. Daddy.
What's the matter, mouthpiece? Weak stomach?
You said. You promised.
I said we wouldn't hit him, and we didn't. He did it himself, didn't he? Johnny, didn't he?
I guess.
You know.
All right, I know. I don't know anything of the kind.
You don't, huh? Look, mouthpiece, you're in this as deep as anybody else. Deeper. You brought him in here.
I know. You don't have to remind me.
I'm just reminding you in case you decide to do any talking. I got something else I want to remind you about, too. My safe deposit box. Johnny, tell your sister and that brother of his. And you, tell the boys. Tell them right. Tell him everything's going to be just the same. Business as usual. And Mouthpiece, tell him it's not Charlie Roman talking. It's Harry Gans.
Who's that for?
Charlie Roman.
Who's he?
Charlie Roman? He was a big man.
He dreamed big. He lived big. Up until the very moment of his untimely death, his every thought, his every action was big. And so that you, Mrs. Roman, may know, so that the world may know the honor we bear him, we have voted not the $500,000 that he had asked for, but even more, for the betterment of its people. And we ask you, Mrs. Roman, to accept from us, his friends and associates, this gift, given with love and everlasting gratitude. Anna, it's what Charles wanted. Anna.
Why should I take it? I want nothing from you, from any of you. Did I ever ask for anything? All I ever wanted was my man.
Anna, don't. Please don't.
No, stop. Tony. Tony. You were his brother. This means something to you. If anyone is to take it, you should take it.
Very well, Anna. In the name of my dead brother, I accept it. On the condition that it be given in the name of Cesare Romano, I accept this. And from all of you, his friends, I accept this, and I thank you for what you have done. And now for Cesare Romano, I will read this.
What is it?
We found this in his papers. To be read in the event of his death. Couldn't be called a will. A will could not legally dispose of that which was illegally gained. What was his last testament? Shall I read it? To the boys. Lou, Harry, Johnny, Augie, Danny, Butsy, Jaime, Momo, and all the rest who was with me all these years. Now I'm dead. All I ask is to keep up the organization. And if you want to know what I think, let Lou handle it, because there is no one you can trust better than him. I would trust him with my life.
No.
What's the matter, Lou?
Nothing.
Now, when it comes to my cut, I want to tell you it's no use to try and give it to my wife, Anna, or my brother, Tony, because I know they won't take it. The money I'd like to be split up down the line to your children. Like Angela, Johnny, when she marries. Let me pay for the wedding, since I never had a daughter. Same with you, Augie, and your boy, Walter. And Harry, your kids. And oh, yes, I don't want to forget the parish when I live in the old days. If it's not for me, the poor box will always be empty. Fill it up every week, and you'll be doing the best thing you can for your old friend, Cesare Romano. Cesare Romano was killed.
That's a lie.
Let me finish, Harry. Don't jump to conclusions. He was killed by the society that created Charlie Roman. And he lived as they created him. In evil. Out of evil. Now that Charlie Roman is dead, Cesare Romano has been returned to us. Him we love and him we sacrifice.
Anna, why are you acting like this?
You murdered him. You murdered my husband.
Anna, it wasn't me.
Shut up!
Shut your mouth before you say something no one wants to hear. You may go now. All of you. Go, all of you, go! Get out of here! All of you, get out! Get out! I know what you're going to say to me. It is done. So let it be.
No, Anna, it is not all done, not yet. But let it be, let it be. Soon they will eat each other alive. Look, Anna. Look, it is far from done.
Yes, because why should you get his vote? You better get down to Philadelphia and put a tap on the lawyer's phone. I want a report on everybody he talks to. I don't like the way that Johnny Longo's acting. Stay on his tail. Now look, lawyer. Just because Charlie leaves you his vote, that doesn't mean we're going to let you run the organization.
I'm not trying to run it. I'm trying to keep it running. And the way to keep it running is to do exactly as Charles wanted to do. And that's to drop the traffic in narcotics. Now, wait a moment, please. I know what's involved here in the way of money and power, but the time is wrong. Right now, there's a congressional committee sitting in Washington digging into this very thing. And except for the dope action, we're clean. Do you understand what that means? Clean, clean. The public is aroused about this narcotics thing. You can't fight the public, it's too big.
The public? The public will stand for anything. They can't be bothered. Like bootlegging. Laws or no laws. They wanted their hooch, they paid their money, and they took their chances. I'll tell you, the public is as rotten as anybody.
Look, Gans, don't make the mistake of thinking that the public is rotten.
Public. The public.
Oh, yes, the public has been cheated. They've been led by the nose. They've been sweet-talked and double-crossed. But don't tell me that the public is rotten.
Oh, sure. We didn't make a killing in bootlegging. We're not cleaning up now on the big stuff. All right. You've had your say. Now I'll tell you where I stand. That legit stuff is okay, as long as it's paying off. But when it comes to dope and the big paying stuff, I say go all the way. And if there's any trouble anywhere down the line, we'll let them have it. Now, what do you say? You gonna get tough? Or are you gonna mooch along with a mouthpiece like Charlie did? Well, what's it gonna be?
I'll go along with Lou.
You will, huh? I'll fight you with me. All right. And you are 2. And 3. And 4. 5.
Now, wait a minute. You can't take a vote. Johnny isn't here.
Johnny will vote my way. I've got 5 and Johnny makes 6. That's all I need. The organization runs my way.
All right. And I'm out.
You guys that voted with him, are you out too?
We're pulling out, too.
All right, but your districts don't go with you. The districts stay with the syndicate. And anybody that tries to change that will find out something they won't like.
You can't take over this way, Harry. This isn't like the old days. These are legitimate businesses. You can't just throw out the stockholders.
I can't, huh? You think I can't, mouthpiece? Maybe you'd better go talk to Johnny.
Johnny?
Yeah. We had a little discussion with Johnny this morning. He came up with some crazy ideas too, mouthpiece. We changed his mind. I think you ought to go talk to him.
Philadelphia, sir?
Yes. No, drive me to Johnny Longo's first. Johnny? Johnny?
Louis, is that you?
Martha, darling, I have to talk to you.
Is it because of this, Louis? They say that you were involved with the syndicate. Is that true, Louis?
Obviously, I'm too late. Yes, Martha. Yes, it's true.
But how long have you been a part of this?
Roughly since I've been a lawyer. Charles Roman paid for my law school. I was indebted. Oh, I'm sick of making excuses. I really have none. I knew what I was doing.
But why, Louis? You don't need these men. You're a good lawyer.
Martha, I don't think that a person like you with your background could ever understand.
But why didn't you tell me, Louis, after all these years?
I was afraid. I thought I'd lose you. Now it'll all come out, this investigation. Martha, you must believe that I came home tonight to tell you this whole dirty story.
Louis, don't.
This man, Longo, he didn't commit suicide. He was killed. And Charles, he was murdered, too.
He died of a heart attack.
Murdered.
But not you, Louis.
That's what I tried to tell myself. I didn't actually do it, but it's the things I didn't do that make me guilty of all their crimes. As guilty as any of them.
Louis, I don't understand any of this.
No, you wouldn't, Martha, but I have to tell you. These others, they didn't know any other way. They grew up in a jungle. The only way they knew to survive was by violence. But I knew better. I was the educated one. I swore an oath to uphold the law. Yes, they committed the crimes, but I was the guiltiest.
Louis.
And I know now what I have to do. I'm only sorry for what it'll do to you. Please forgive me.
I love you, Louis. This other man that you've been talking about, I've never known him.
Thank you, dear. Hello. Hello, operator. Yes, I want to place a call to Mr. Freeman Chase, Lincoln 72791. That's Washington, D.C. Yes, I'll wait. Hello, Mr. Chase? Yes, this is Lewis Adams. I've decided to testify before your committee. Well, I'm sorry to disturb you tonight, but if I don't see you at once, well, it may be difficult for me. Yes. Yes, I can do that. Well, I could leave here in about 2 hours, and that means I'd get there about 11 o'clock.
I better get Harry right away.
Yes, I'll have the necessary documents with me. Mm-hmm. Oh, I understand, Mr. Chase. No, I'm not expecting any deal. Well, let's just say there comes a time. Goodbye. Goodbye, Martha.
That's him. Get the briefcase. Come on, get out of here.
Jeremy, is it you?
Jeremy, why don't you speak? Jeremy, in God's name, speak!
woman who just screamed is perfectly quiet now, as sure as my name is Boris Karloff. You see, she's been dead for nearly 100 years. Her bed is empty, and whatever it was that frightened her so seems to be gone. Seems to be. But I can tell you this much. That bed won't be empty much longer, and other screams will soon be heard. Whose? Perhaps yours, or those who will join us here. Mr. Rip Torn, Miss Patricia Barry, Mr. Richard Anderson, and, well, it seems the rest of our cast cannot be raised. They're dead, you know. But spend a night with us in the Purple Room, if you dare. Let me assure you, my friends, this is a thriller.
In willing the house to you, dear brother, I am hopeful that you will fall under the spell of it, as I did when first I saw it and knew I must possess it.
Well, I'm sorry I'll have to disappoint him there. My only interest in that property is to dispose of it as soon as possible for a profit.
You haven't heard the terms. Should you decide, after one night under the roof of Black Oak, that you do not choose to take up residence there, the estate will pass to our beloved cousin Rachel Judson and her husband Oliver, who have been my guests, confidants, and faithful companions during these years of my life at Black Oak, and who cherish it as I do.
Just a minute. Does that mean I can't sell the house?
After a period of 1 year's residence, you will be free to dispose of the estate in any manner you see fit. But I believe that by that time, only death would part you from it, as it has finally parted me from Black Oak. You recognize your brother's signature, of course.
Yes, but I don't understand. You say that I have to live in the house for 1 year before I can sell it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you also say I have to decide if I will live in it after only one night.
Your brother felt that one night would be sufficient to make your decision. He wanted you to feel as he felt about the place. You see, he fell in love with Black Oak at first sight. But some people are repelled by their first impressions of it.
Well, it'll take a lot to repel me. I happen to know that that property is in the middle of an area to be developed by Moreland Enterprises. I'll sit it out a year if I have to.
Then I take it you'll be leaving for Baton Rouge within a week or so.
Well, I'll leave tonight. There's nothing to keep me here.
Do you like it, Duncan?
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Cousin Rachel, but yes, I like it very much.
Then it's all that you expected, eh?
Exactly. I must admit that you two come as a pleasant surprise. I don't know what I was expecting. Something out of Charles Adams, I guess.
Well, we'll accept that as a compliment. But wherever did you get that impression?
Well, when Everett bought the house, he described it to me in a letter, and then later He wrote me that you two were staying here, and I suppose I simply extended the description of the house to include you.
Well, we're not quite that old. I'll get the bags. Unless, of course, you'll change your mind and spend the
Oh,
night.
no, I'm here. I might as well get it over with.
You make it sound as if you think it's going to be an ordeal.
Well, now, let's be honest, Cousin Rachel. You know, those stories you were telling me down from the station weren't exactly meant to reassure me.
Oh, come now, Duncan. Well, look, all of that is part of the fun of having an old house. It's history, it's secrets, all those ghosts. You inherit those with
I
the
know.
house.
I mean, of course, neither one of you would have any idea of attempting to scare me out before the morning.
Well, now, why would we do a thing like that?
Well, Oliver, I just happen to have a nasty mind, and I can't help remembering that if I decide not to stay here, that the place will belong to you.
You think it means that much to us?
Well, it'd mean that much to me to hold on to it. You know, this place is going to be worth a lot of money in the next couple of years, as you both know.
If you'd given us a bit more notice, we would have had the electricity turned on.
Uh-huh. Oh, you don't believe us? I suppose you think we arranged it this way to make things a little more difficult for you.
Well, Oliver, I'm certain I'd do the same thing if I were in your position.
Oh, my, you do have a nasty mind.
Why,
Duncan.
thank you, Rachel. Well, it doesn't matter. I can explore this place in the morning. All I need now is a room.
This way. We closed the house after Everett's death. I'm afraid the only bed that's made up is in the purple room. Of course, you wouldn't like that one.
Oh, is that a challenge? The purple room, by all means.
Duncan, there's nothing that you have to prove here. It's very easy to change the bedding from one room to the other.
Well, listen, I don't want to put you to any trouble, and I'm certain it'd be much more difficult for you if I didn't stay in the purple room.
Here it is.
Welcome home.
After you. Oh, a nice place to visit.
But you wouldn't want to die here.
Will you hold that just a moment?
Oh, sure.
I still don't have any matches.
Oh, perhaps you'd like to borrow my lighter.
Oh, no, the can will be fine until I go to bed, and then, well, I never smoke before breakfast, and I never sleep with the lights on.
You mean you're actually going to sleep here?
Well, if you don't keep me awake.
Well, we told you we can't spend the night.
Oh, yes, that's right. You did tell me that, didn't you? You excuse me just a moment, please? You know, they say that these old Victorian mansions are just riddled with secret passageways, but in case anyone thinks of popping out of some panel during the night, I'll welcome them with this.
Now, look, that's going entirely too far.
Put that thing away.
Well, I think it's only fair that any ghost within sound of my voice should be advised of my intention.
My good fellow, if what is haunting this house is something human, you'll be doing a favor to everyone in the district if you put a few bullets in it. If not...
If not what, Oliver?
If not, you've done everything you can to announce your antagonism your lack of sympathy to them. The outset, you've been smug and provocative.
I'm not afraid of dying if they're not.
Would you please stop waving that thing around?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't want you to be concerned over me. And will you please tell any ghosts you happen to meet on the way out?
Ghosts only appear to those who are fool enough to believe in them. And those who are fool enough not to.
Any other words of comfort in parting?
Well, at least let's all part as friends. Let's have a drink.
I would love a drink.
So would I.
We can drink to the success of the living over the dead. Duncan? Oliver? Cheers.
Just a moment. If you don't mind, let's exchange glasses.
You think we were trying to drug you?
Well, I just can't help judging others by myself, and I'm sure if I were you that I'd slip something in the drink to slow the reflexes and stimulate the imagination.
Come on, Oliver. Humor him. Now?
So this is where it's happened, huh? Nearly 100 years ago.
If you believe it, it started right in that bed.
What's your version, Oliver?
That was their bed. Captain Jeremy Ransom and his wife Caroline.
His bride of only 7 days. They were alone in the house, as people on a honeymoon prefer to be. But in the middle of the night, Caroline awoke, hearing the sound of footsteps on the floor below. Caroline was terrified. But Jeremy, hardened by years of war, didn't know the meaning of fear. If a prowler had gotten in, he'd throw him out bodily. He started for the door. Caroline begged him not to leave her there alone. So Jeremy stopped, and then he went to the mantel and took down his pistol, loaded it, and put it into her hands. If the fellow should slip past him, penetrate the bedroom, Jeremy told her to shoot and shoot to kill. And then he went out to the stairs. He took no light to warn the prowler and started down the stairs slowly, searching. There in the bed, Caroline waited, clutching the gun. She waited, till she wanted to scream. Instead, she hardly breathed. She heard nothing, nothing at all. She just waited. She began to pray. And then she heard it. The footsteps again, coming up the stairs. But they weren't his footsteps, not her husband's, not Jeremy's. They shuffled, dragged, groped, fumbled, coming closer, closer, reaching the door. They started in. She couldn't see who or what it was moving toward her out of the dark. Her fingers tightened on the gun. She cried out, "Jeremy, is it you?" There was no answer. So she fired, point blank, again and again at the shape. She heard a moan, then a fall. And she lit the candle. And then she began to scream. And scream. And scream.
Is that the punchline?
When the servants found them, Caroline was raving mad. Jeremy was lying in a pool of blood at the foot of the bed, a knife buried in his chest. He had been stabbed by the prowler. And then he forced his way up those stairs, step by step, unable to speak, more dead than alive, to get help from Caroline. Instead, his bride had shot him dead. She never regained her sanity.
Well, it's no joke to lose a husband like that, especially one you like.
It's all of the old newspaper files in Baton Rouge. Perhaps you'd like to check on it in the morning.
Oh, why wait till morning? Won't I be able to check it out tonight with old Captain Jeremy himself? Or do you think maybe he's going to take the night off? You know, after all he's been through, maybe he's going to be a bit gun-shy.
Duncan, I have had enough of your smirky superiority and bad manners. You can believe what you like. This place is all yours. And everything it contains. Let's go, Rachel. And, you'd better lock this. Keeps out the draft.
What, back so soon? Well, make yourselves at home, dear cousins. We have a long night ahead of us. Now, what would brave Captain Jeremy have done, huh? Oh, yes, started down the stairs to investigate? Well, not me. I've had a long trip. I'm going to get some sleep. I'm sorry. You hear me? Listen, why don't you just give it up and forget it? I'm going to be here for the night. Oh, come on, knock it off. That sort of thing went out with bustles and buggy whips. Ah, the old creaking stair. That's truly a creative touch. But don't you have a squeaking door? Surely you must have a good old squeaking door around the place. Thank you! You never disappoint me! All right, if you have nothing further to offer me, I'm about to get me some sleep. I'm sorry, I can't say the same for you. First, one little more nightcap. Sure you won't join me? No? Biddy. Oh, we have the rapping noises, the rapping sounds. Oh, fine, fine. Have your fun. I want the whole familiar routine. I want rapping sounds, sudden gusts of wind, musty odors. You haven't forgotten the musty odors, have you? Hey, you did put something in that drink, didn't you? Well, I won't do you any good! Barbiturates have no effect on me. No effect at all. There, you see? I'm better. I told you it wouldn't work. Even Novocaine doesn't do the job on me. Unless I let it. It is simply a matter of willpower. Now, either you let it or you don't let it. That was a cheap trick. You could at least let me get my cigarette lit. Oh, Ed. What the devil you put in the drink, huh? I warn you! Too many people know where I am. Too many people. Anything happens to me, you'll be the first. You'll be the first I suspect. Oh, what a head. All right, I came out of it just in time. Oh. All right, you didn't have to pick the lock, you know. I would have let you in. Why didn't you knock, huh? All right, you hear me? I'm all right again. I'm on my feet, and I've got the gun. All right, that's enough. That's enough!
You hear me? All right, I know you're there. But I want to tell you, I have stopped thinking this is funny. I'm not very amused. Oliver? All right, Rachel? All right, whatever you are, Jeremy, Caroline. All right, look at this gun. You see it? Yeah, you can see it. Don't you think I won't use it. All right, Oliver, Jeremy, Rachel, Caroline. I'm going to shoot the first thing that moves, animal, vegetable, mineral, or what have you. All right. All right. All right. That does it. From now on, I take no responsibility for what happens. All right, I hear you. I hear you over there. Now, look. Hey, I don't want to shoot you, but you're pushing this too far. I see you now. I see you. Now, look, don't make me do it. All right, come on, get it. Oh, give me credit. I figured you right, didn't I, Oliver? Why, it is Cousin Oliver, isn't it? Well, of course it has to be. I mean, Rachel wouldn't be caught dead in that nightgown. What is that? A knife in your chest? Huh? That's very clever. That's a very clever idea for a tie pin. I might merchandise that. All right, Oliver, let's just knock it off. The party's over. I'm not gonna scare. All right, let's just take off the mask and we'll have our little laugh. All right, that's close enough, Oliver. I mean it. Stay back. Rachel, call him off. Listen, if you're here, listen, use your head. I'm not afraid of your comic opera ghost, but I am afraid I'm going to have to kill him. I'll kill him. All right, Oliver, don't. Look, Oliver. Jeremy. No, stop it. I mean what I say. Look. If you think I'm gonna let you put those hands on me, you just... All right, what do you got there? Some kind of glove? Oh, stop it. Please, stop it. All right, stop it! All right. Rachel? Rachel! Come here, quick! He's dead.
His cigarettes. I'll bet you forgot his cigarettes.
I did not. I put them in his pocket. You never give me credit for anything.
There's one thing I'll give you credit for. The whole idea. Such an obvious, childish, transparent stunt. Well, even Duncan saw straight through it before it even got off the ground.
Oh, yes? Well, if he was so smart, why did he have a heart attack? Why didn't you tell us you had a weak heart?
He didn't know. Don't talk to him like that. It gives me the creeps.
No, don't put him in the luggage. I want him in the front seat.
If you think I'm going to sit in the front seat with him sitting between us,
It's not necessary for you to come along at all, you know.
if you think I intend to stay in that house
Listen.
alone after what's happened,
Would you stop this debate? I'm holding the heavy end. Well, get out. No need to get your feet wet.
And please be careful. I don't want anything to happen to my car.
Now that's the quality I fell in love with. Tenderness.
You forgot to turn off the lights.
My dear girl, if a man has a heart attack while driving to Baton Rouge and runs off the road in a dead condition, he'd hardly consider turning off the lights just to keep your battery from running down.
Hurry it up, can't you? I'm getting a chill.
Well, I'll be getting double pneumonia if I don't get my feet dry.
Oliver,
What?
do we have to go back to that house tonight?
Certainly, that's the whole idea. Now, we picked Duncan up at the station, drove him out to Black Rock. He took a look around, decided he wanted to stay at the hotel. We were tired, gave him the car, and we stayed on.
I dare say we are committed to that story now.
Right. It wouldn't do for us to be anywhere close to him when it happened. It might arouse suspicion.
Suspicion? No, but you yourself said that we haven't committed any crime.
Yes, but we profit by what's happened. If anybody would think that perhaps we might have deliberately scared him to death,
Don't say such a thing. Don't even suggest it.
I'm sorry, darling. I realize how delicate you are. Now, come on. If we go this way, we'll be home in 10 minutes.
Oh. Oliver,
What?
I'd give up the whole thing right now. The property, the profit, all of it. If only I didn't have to spend another night in that house.
What? After sticking with Everett all these years?
I mean it, Oliver. I'm afraid to go back there.
Darling, you are so wonderfully impractical. Next thing you know, you'll be believing it's haunted, too.
It is. Now,
before someone finds us here.
Now, will you stop all this nonsense? We know this house inside out. If there are any ghosts knocking about, I'm sure we'd have stirred one up before tonight.
Before tonight, we never did anything to stir one up.
Well, that's a fine, enlightened statement.
Oliver.
What?
Oliver, please, I know I'm being foolish and female, but please humor me. We've always felt the same about things before. Don't you feel something different tonight?
Of course I do. We've been through a harrowing experience. It went far beyond anything we intended. But it's over and it's finished and that's the end of it.
No, I never gave any more credence to that story about Jeremy Ransom and what's her name, Carolyn, any more than you did. Not until tonight. But when I was waiting downstairs, watching Duncan, and you in that silly outfit, I swear I was almost as frightened as he was.
I always knew that I should have been on the stage.
No, Oliver. No, it wasn't you. Or him. It was if somebody else was in that room. Some other presence. Didn't you feel it at all?
Of course. I was scared stiff. But not of the bullets. I knew I'd switched them to blanks after he passed out. But what I was really afraid of was that he'd figure that out and come after me with a fireplace poker or something.
Then you didn't feel it. As if Jeremy Ransom and Caroline were in that room. Backing you up. Egging you on.
The man had a stroke. A heart attack. There's no way in the world that we can be blamed for this. There are no signs of violence in the body, no stab wounds, no bullet wounds.
You sound so cold-blooded.
Well, you're making my blood cold with this infernal...
Oliver, please. Please, let's not quarrel. Not tonight. Not tonight of all nights.
I'm sorry. We're all on edge. Everything will look different in daylight.
Yes. I guess there isn't anything to do now, but wait. Wait for the daylight. Oliver, wake up.
What? What? Huh?
Wake up.
Oh, Rachel, what now?
Listen.
There's somebody downstairs.
Or something.
Oh, don't be a fool, Rachel.
What are you going to do?
I'm going downstairs to find out who's sulking about.
Don't you know?
What do you mean?
Oliver. It's Jeremy.
Oh, snap out of it, Rachel.
Oliver! Please don't leave me alone here. Please. No, Oliver.
Now, you hold on to this. And remember, they're not blanks this time.
Oliver, please don't go down there. Please, please don't.
Who's there? What do you want? Who are you? Now, I know there's someone in here. If you'll just tell me what you want, perhaps I can arrange for you to have it. I mean, there's no need for any mystery about this. I'm perfectly willing to.
I couldn't see you. Yes. I'm all right. Oh, thank heaven. Oh, thank heaven. I thought he killed you.
He didn't even touch me.
I had to shoot him, Oliver. I had to. He's dead. I killed him. I killed him.
Judson? That you, Mr. Judson? Ma'am? Are you all right?
Where did you come from?
Well, we heard the shots.
How did you get here so soon?
We found your wagon, ma'am, down by the bayou with some stranger in it. Fella said his name was Ransom, Jeremy Ransom. Was out of his head. Said someone was trying to kill him and his wife. So he run off, and we're looking for him. He come this way.
No. No. He's not here.
No? We just swore them shots come from upstairs there.
You were mistaken.
Maybe so, but I think we'd better have a look-see just the same.
No. There's nothing to see up there. There's nobody. There's nothing to see.
It's no use, Rachel. He's here, and they'll find him. And nobody'll ever believe that it was all a mistake.
A mistake?
Yes. You see, we thought he was a prowler, a trespasser. You see, his name isn't Ransom. He's our cousin.
Cousin?
Our cousin Duncan. But you see...
Now, hold on, ma'am. I think you made a mighty big mistake, ma'am. I mean, if Everett left him the house like you meant to, I don't see how you could take him for a trespasser. I mean, it wasn't your house. Now, was it?
No, it wasn't. But it is now. All of it. This house. Everything in it. It's ours.
The incident you've just witnessed was described by the police and the press as an accident. Which, of course, it wasn't, just as sure as my name is Boris Karloff. We're concerned now with some of the people who live in the small resort town where the accident took place several weeks ago. We're going to see these people through the eyes of a murderer at large, unidentified, unsuspected, unpredictable, as the urge to kill again becomes irresistible. The name of our story is The Watcher, and our principal players are Mr. Martin Gable, Miss Olive Sturgis, Mr. Richard Chamberlain, Mr. Stuart Irwin, Miss Gloria Clark, Miss Irene Hervey, and Mr. Alan Baxter. Take my word for it, this is a thriller.
stop me.
Nice evening, Miss Tomlinson.
Yes, it is, Mr. Bronte.
Mrs. Appleby is in rare voice tonight.
Yes.
It's good to have you home again. Feeling better?
Yes, thank you.
Susan was a lovely girl, and so young to be taken.
Why? Why? Why?
Great grief is a divine and terrible radiance which transfigures the wretched. The burden of your grief can be shared. Please call on me if I can help.
Oh, you're very considerate. But I'll be all right.
Working late again, Larry?
Yeah.
Keeping these old helps in the water is a full-time job, I imagine. Your aunt's fortunate having you to work for her.
Somebody's got to take care of this place. She's a widow, and these boats in her house are all she's got.
Yes, but most boys your age would rather be out roaming the streets. You're to be commended, Larry. Believe me. I'm a teacher. I know something about boys. I know how they squander their time.
You want something, Mr. Freitag?
I make you nervous watching you work.
Nobody makes me nervous.
How old are you, Larry?
20.
Graduate from high school?
Sure.
Plan to continue your education? Go on to college?
I hadn't given it much thought.
You were seeing quite a lot of Miss Tomlinson's young sister before she was drowned.
Well, Susie used to hang around here a lot, if that's what you mean, but I wasn't dating her. Well, she was a nice kid, but she was always underfoot. She all the time pestering me.
I know.
I'd rather not talk about it, Mr. Freitag. Do you mind?
I suppose a good-looking young man like you doesn't have any trouble finding feminine companionship.
I hadn't thought much about it.
Must be a problem for you. I mean, avoiding unwelcome attentions.
I can take care of myself.
I'm sorry, Larry. I didn't mean to pry. I'd really like to help you.
Thanks, but I'm doing all right.
An older man can sometimes help keep a boy straight. Life is full of dark paths. It's so easy at your age to lose the way. Many temptations come our way. But if we refuse to learn from our mistakes, if we make them a way of life...
You sound just like my Aunt Eunice.
I'm trying to be your friend, Larry.
Look, Mr. Freitag, I'm doing all right. If I ever need your advice, well, I know where I can find you.
Hoped you'd help me with the arrangements for the garden party. There's a great deal to do before tomorrow night.
Well, I'm sorry, Mother.
It's time you assumed some social responsibility, Beth.
Why? You have enough for both of us.
Don't be insolent, young lady.
I'm sorry.
You should be. You should also be sorry for the way you look. Oh, Beth, won't you even try? You have a closet full of dresses, and I never see you in anything but blue jeans. You're almost 21. It's time you started behaving like a lady.
Oh, Mother, let's not have another scene.
Where are you going?
To Shirley's.
All right, run along. But we'll have a long talk tomorrow.
It's a date.
Hi, kitten.
Uncle Florian, what are you doing out of bed? All right, let's have it.
Hmm?
You know what the doctor said. Give it to me.
Ah, petticoat tyranny. Just because she gave you a bad time, you have to ruin my evening.
That's right. We petted women are a perverse lot.
Amen to that.
Ha ha, you'd perished without us.
Got a date tonight? Gonna rain, you know.
Let it.
Larry?
Mm-hmm.
What's our cover story?
I'm at Shirley's.
Any chance Shirley might phone you?
Nope.
Well, I'll answer all incoming calls anyway.
Thanks, as usual.
Beth, enjoy yourself.
out there. You probably saw those nets waving at you. Well, looks like we have soggy donuts with our job, huh? You are a ninny.
Guilty conscience, I guess. Oh, Larry, if my mother had any inkling, it'd kill her.
Hey, we haven't said hello yet.
Larry, it's doing something to me. Sneaking off to meet you here and telling lies.
How about it, huh? Huh?
Hello.
Hiya.
Hey, you're soaked.
You're gonna be the death of me yet. Well, make with the coffee department while I find some dry clothes. You remember that high school teacher I told you was renting from Vita Tomlinson?
You never told me about any teacher.
Didn't I?
No?
Slipped my mind, I guess.
Well, what about it?
His name's Freitag. He was questioning me tonight.
About what?
Oh, how old I am. Do I plan to go to college? Stuff like that.
Well, he's a teacher. Maybe he likes you and wants to help.
Oh, his help I can do without. He gives me the creeps.
Well, then, forget about him, darling. Think about us.
What about us?
Well, for a start, I love you.
That's only the half of it. As soon as I find somebody to help Aunt Eunice, we're going to get married. Right?
Right.
And we're going to leave this place together, right?
Right.
Okay. Tomorrow's my day off. And we're going on a picnic
To Rainbow Lake?
to our
Larry.
favorite
Don't.
spot.
Larry.
O corrupt and faithless seed, how long shall I endure thy iniquity?
I must be sure before I kill again. What does he mean again? You haven't had a murder here since Prohibition.
What about Toby Cantwell?
4 people saw Opal Johnson shoot him. I mean an unsolved murder.
Oh.
Unless maybe he's talking about Susie Tomlinson.
Now, you know the coroner ruled that an accident.
I didn't buy that then. I don't buy it now.
Look, you're hired to keep the peace, not to stir up more trouble.
Bill, we try to solve crimes, not cover them up.
This is a summer resort. The tourist trade here keeps the natives alive all winter. And no elected official is going to hand down a verdict that's going to scare off the tourists, especially if not a single shred of evidence.
What about this?
Some crank.
Maybe. Maybe he's a murderer. Only a psycho could write a letter like this. Someone who reads his own corruption into everything he sees. Look, Al, if this letter's on the level, you got a sitting duck out there, and before you know it, he'll be a dead duck. You wouldn't want that to happen, would you?
Of course not.
All right. And why don't you let me nose around a little, ask a few questions, okay?
All right, all right. Phil, keep this to yourself. No leak to the newspapers, no nothing, unless you're sure, okay?
Telephone, Edith.
Oh, all right. Florian, see if Beth's awake yet.
Beth. Morning, kitten. Where are you rushing?
Larry and I are going on a picnic.
Your mother's going to be furious.
That's news?
Beth, your mother and I had a long talk last night after you left.
I can guess who did the talking.
She's heard rumors about you and Larry. She's thinking of packing you off to the city.
She wouldn't.
You know that she would. So take a tip from your old pal here and get home in time for this shindig tonight.
I will, I promise. And I'll be the perfect junior hostess. Tell her for me.
Get out of here before I tan your bottom.
I heard you had a breakdown after it happened.
I'm not intruding, I hope. I saw the car outside.
This is Mr. Archer, Mr. Freitag. He's come to talk about Susan.
Oh, nothing wrong, I hope.
Not a thing, Mr. Freitag.
Well, I won't intrude. You know where to find me if I can be of any assistance.
Thank you, but I'm already in your debt.
Not at all. Not at all. Good day, sir.
Miss Tomlinson, I'm not here to hurt you any more than you've already been hurt. That sounds trite, doesn't it? Fact is, I'm reopening your sister's case.
Why?
Because I'm not satisfied with the coroner's verdict.
Why aren't you satisfied?
I've made some inquiries about Susan and her friends. Among other things, I learned that Susan was an excellent swimmer.
Susan slipped and hit her head on the dock. She was unconscious when she fell into the water.
You don't really believe that.
I have no reason to disbelieve it. Why do you ask such a question?
Miss Tomlinson. Did Susan have any close friends that you were concerned about?
Susan had lots of nice friends.
I mean boyfriends.
Just what are you suggesting?
I understand you kept a pretty tight rein on her. Maybe too tight?
Young girl needs close supervision.
And you gave her close supervision. Very close. And so, she reacted quite naturally. She rebelled. She had dates behind your back.
It's not true.
She spent quite a lot of time down at the boathouse with Larry Carter, for one.
I don't wish to discuss it.
Now, why do you suppose they're pestering that poor dear again?
I don't know.
Oh, it's Tuesday again, I see.
Well, you told me if I worked weekends, I could have Tuesdays off.
I'll not go back on my Christian word, you know that, but I do think you're seeing too much of that Pettit girl.
Well, who I see and how often I see her is my business, Aunt Eunice.
I've noticed a disturbing change in you lately, Larry. You've been keeping bad hours. There's been talk. Even Mr. Freitag has remarked about your behavior.
I figured he'd be meddling.
Mr. Freitag's a nice religious man, and you'd do well to heed his example. Pity he's only here for the summer.
Yeah, ain't that a shame?
Now, don't be surly, young man.
I'm not being surly.
Perverseness. Was there ever so much perverseness in the world?
I better be going.
Larry,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't mean to be harsh. I want you to have friends and good, clean fun, but you do have a responsibility. With your uncle dead, you're a man of the house now. I depend on you. You understand that now, don't you?
I understand.
Hello? Yes?
Well, you better get with it. Another letter just came in. Special delivery.
Go ahead.
It was mailed last night or either early this morning. It's unsigned. It reads, I am now certain I must kill again.
If it's something serious, I don't want to hear it. Everything's too beautiful. The sky has a fresh coat of blue just for us.
We're making a big mistake, Beth.
How?
By not getting married right now.
Oh, Larry.
Well, why not? We could drive into the next state, get a license, and be married before morning.
But what about my mother and your aunt?
Tell her you're spending the night at Shirley's. Shirley will cover for you.
No. I won't start our life together with a lie.
Well, it's a little late to be fussy, isn't it?
Well, I hope it isn't too late, Larry. Because I've decided to tell my mother all about us. What we have is too precious to spoil with hiding and lies. I'm going to tell her everything.
Have you gone soft in the head? She'll never let you marry a guy with no parents, no real family. Except an aunt who spends all her time singing hymns and telling everybody what a good Christian she
I'll
is.
have to take that chance.
That chance.
It's the only way.
What you're saying is no. Okay, it's no, and that's the end of it. I'll drive you back to town.
Larry?
Beth, what are we going to do?
Oh, you goof. You wonderful, zany goof. I love you.
I love you.
Isn't that enough for now? Oh, it'll work out, honey. I don't know how, but it will. It will.
It's funny, but I don't care much right now. Just as long as I don't lose you.
Just you try and lose me. Larry, there's somebody up there watching us.
Who'd be watching us?
No, there's somebody up there. I feel it. I know it.
Well, don't be silly.
Let's go and find out.
Cut it out, Beth. Okay, stubborn. Wait for me. Nothing. See what I tell you.
I had the creepiest feeling, Larry.
Come here, you. Hey, look at the sun. It must be almost 6.
Hey, we better go. If I'm late for Mother's party, everything will be ruined.
I'll race you down the hill.
Ow!
Are you all right?
Larry, my ankle. Oh, how are we going to get back to the car?
to spare?
I haven't got one. What are we gonna do?
Well, don't panic. I'll hitch you right down to Kearney's garage and get it fixed. You can change while I'm gone.
Well, I'm going with you.
No, you'd only slow me down.
But, Larry, I don't want to stay here alone.
Well, I can't carry you and wheel the tire, too. Lock yourself in the car if you're scared.
No, Larry,
Look, do you want to get home on time? Then quit arguing.
hands in the car.
Your boy tells me he found a girl murdered.
Yes, sir, she sure looks dead to me.
Where is she?
Up that trail yonder a ways. You see, we heard this horn a-honking and went up there to see if we could help. And when we got up near the car, this man come out from under the hood, took one look at us, and run off into the brush.
Could you recognize him?
No, but my wife here saw him tearing out towards town in his car. You know, he must have had it parked down the road a ways.
I'm a police officer, miss. Are you hurt?
I don't think so.
What happened?
Someone tried to kill me.
Who?
I don't know. A man. Larry left me, and I felt I was being watched, and then he was standing there.
You're all right. Cry it out. You can tell me all about it on the way into town.
You're all right.
I'm sorry I spoiled your party, Mother.
Your uncle and I have telephoned everybody. We've told them you had an automobile accident. That's all they need to ever know.
But something's happened to Larry, and they won't tell me what.
I'll drop back later to talk to your daughter, Mrs. Pettit. Good night.
Oh, officer, there's to be no talk about where my daughter was found. Sheriff Matthews and I have discussed it. Do you understand? Let's go and have a talk about what we're going to tell people.
No, I'm going to Larry.
Miss!
Uncle Florian, can I borrow your car?
You're staying here, and you're going to do exactly as I tell you.
I'm sorry, Mother.
Yes, your mother may be right. If the newspapers get a hold of this, you know how they'll slant the story. Daughter of prominent socialite attacked by fiend.
Can I borrow your car?
Beth, you've got to listen to me.
I'm going if I have to crawl.
Oh, so it's finally come to the surface, has it? I know now what I've seen in you all summer, Beth. In spite of a fine home and a decent family, you've turned out to be nothing but a little tramp.
Whatever I am, I have you to thank, Mother, for making me hide and tell lies. And worst of all, for making me feel ashamed of loving Larry.
How dare you!
And thanks for that, too.
Beth, wait. I'll drive you.
How did it happen?
Somebody banged him. Then they pushed the down button. He'd have been crushed if that tire rim hadn't been laying there.
Won't the rack go back up?
No, it's frozen. That'll be cut through in a minute.
Anybody see who did it?
No, but it had to be the same weirdo that wrote those letters and tried to kill the Pettit girl.
and murdered Susie Tamlin.
Well, there's a connection, that's for sure.
How much longer, Sheriff?
It'll be a few minutes yet, Doctor.
You think you can revive him, Doctor?
You'll have to wait with your questions.
Until when?
Until tonight, maybe. The Portville Hospital is sending an ambulance. Meanwhile, we'll take him to his home.
How bad is that head injury?
I can't tell till I see the x-rays.
You're the young miss that started all this trouble. Out of charity, I take in a homeless boy, and suddenly my house is filled with policemen and tramps.
Now, just a minute.
It's all right, Uncle Florian. I'm getting used to that name now.
Well, listen to her. She actually flaunts the fact.
Where's Larry?
Upstairs in his room. But you're not going up there.
Don't try to stop me, Mrs. Appleby. Unless you want a scene your neighbors will never forget.
Oh, Beth, I'd better get back to your mother and try to square things for both of us. Phone me when you're ready to come home.
I'll be back before the ambulance arrives.
You gave me such a fright.
I'm so sorry, Mrs. Appleby.
Why didn't you come in the front way?
There's a policeman outside. I was afraid he wouldn't let anybody in the house. And I was concerned for you.
Oh, how kind you are. Only the other day I was telling Miss Tomlinson how you've been taking an interest in Larry.
I saw them bringing Larry home. What happened, Mrs. Appleby?
You haven't heard?
No, I just returned from Portville.
Oh, it's all over town, Mr. Freitag. The shame of it. How I'm ever going to live down the shame. Some fiend attacked Larry at the gas station. And the girl he was out in the woods with, alone. She's upstairs with him now, the brazen little baggage. Even threatened to create a scene if I tried to stop her. After all I've done for that boy, this is the way he repays me.
Have either of them been able to say who attacked them?
No, but the sheriff told me the girl will probably remember what the fiend looked like when she gets over her shock.
I see.
Well, you'll have to excuse me now, Mr. Freitag. The doctor's given me a prescription to get filled for Larry.
You're leaving them up there alone?
Oh, dear. Could you
Of course. I'd be glad to stay here and chaperone them.
Oh, you're very considerate. All this trouble, if it didn't go contrary to my Christian beliefs, I'd wish the both of them dead.
When night darkens the streets, then wander forth the sons of Belial. That's from Milton's Paradise Lost. Belial is the spirit of evil personified. One of the fallen angels.
Yes. Well, I won't be long.
Darling, we're together now. And nothing will ever come between us.